Hi everyone, this is Cindy with Creating with the Heart, and I'm back with another Valentine's Day video for you guys. And I'm using a lot of the same products for all my Valentine's series. It's a good way to use up the stash. And my resolution every year is to use up my stash because it's pretty nuts. So I have some ideas on how I'm going to be kind of moving forward with getting through some of the paper that I have. But one of them is to try and use, a whole stack for a series. And in this case, I'm using the Love 6x6 Fancy Pants Designs paper stack for the cards that I'm going to be making, even though I think it makes pretty wedding cards too, because there's some really beautiful prints in here. But I'm kind of adapting it, and right now I'm using my Create a Critter 2. So I'm going to try and get through most of the Valentine's Day cuts in here because I think they're really beautiful and fun. The cartridge is still new to me, so there's a lot of fun cuts that I really want to use. And so today I'm going to be using the owl. There's a really cute owl cut in here that I'm going to be using. And I'm even going to be decorating the inside today, which I don't always do. So this is the paper. And of course, as always, use the paper that you have. I mean, the idea behind watching videos is to hopefully get inspired, especially if you're into Cricut, which I love my Cricut. I know a lot of people are switching to Cameos, so I have a lot of money invested in my Cricut, and I actually like buying cartridges and trying to design through that. I think it's more difficult if I had to just pick images that I wanted to use. I kind of like having stuff to choose from ready for me, but that's just me. That's why we have choices. So this is going to be a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card. And I've got my red layer, which is cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have this really cute paper, the hearts on it. It's got hearts. I don't know if you can see that. And this is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And so I'm going to layer all of that on there, and I'm going to use my ATG. And hopefully I have enough ATG to get me through this card. That's the worst when you're filming a video and I run out of ATG. That's happened to me a couple times. So it's like watching paint dry, having to wait for somebody to fill their ATG. So let's go ahead and do our card base. And while I like to play around sometimes with layouts, there's always, go-to layouts depending on what I'm doing. A lot of times I have a really cute cut. I like to keep it simple so you can see the cute cut. So I used this label. Instead of using my Elegant Edges, I used this Framelits Labels collection. So there's a nice shortcut. Paper Tray Ink has these type of labels type dies that you can use through your Cuttlebug. Also Spellbinders, I have a lot of that, and those are really fun to use. So I just cut it out of this really pretty kind of turquoisey blue paper, and I did a little bit of doodling so kind of stand out a little bit, and I just decided to be different instead of using my Elegant Edges. But of course you always can cut whatever mat you want. So that's just going to go right here. And then here is my super cute image cut at 3.5 inches. And I cut the black layer, which gives you the eyes, this little ear part, and the feet. And then the light pink, which gives you this kind of part for his belly and the eyes. And I cut this sort of more of a hot pink color. And that one I ran through my Cuttlebug in the Swiss dots. It just gave it a little texture. I thought it was kind of fun. And then you have your red layer, which gives you the heart and the nose. So I think it came out really cute. And I put all of this on my foam tape for a little bit of dimension. I'm going to take all of the little pieces off, which is the least fun, because then these little pieces stick to everything. So I'm going to get these. And one of my goals this year also is to send more cards. So I make these Valentine's Day cards, and I think it would be fun to send them to my girlfriends in the mail. Okay, so I put that down right there, and then I have this Happy Valentine's Day, which is from, I believe, Stampin' Up. And what I did was I cut it on white scrap, and then I notched the edges using my square punch. You just stick it in one of the corners, and then you just kind of cut it, and it creates a notch. And then I did the same for the red piece. And so it's a very simple kind of technique, and it's going to fit under his feet. So that's going to go like so. And then I have a super cute button from Stampin' Up, and this one's got a little texture, and it's a very pretty button. And I'm just going to kind of put that right here in the corner. And so here's the front of my card. Now the inside of the card, there's a sentiment on the Cricut Create a Critter 2 cartridge that says, "I'll be yours." That kind of is on the same page. So, we'll see, these little sticky things are everywhere. So basically, I'm just going to use the same paper that I used on the front of my card, and I just, you know, I think this is cut at like 1.5, and the other one is cut at 7.75, and just layering it on top so it shows through. I mean, it just depends on what you have left, what pieces of paper you have left. I mean, that's the beauty of using up scraps. I usually use scraps if I decorate the inside of my card. It's always scraps. So what size you use is going to vary depending on what size is left of scraps you have. And that is a really good way of using it up, so you're not, you know, got all these pieces, you know, of scraps hanging out in your paper pad waiting to be used. So just keep that in mind. It's a good way of using up some scraps. Got a little, this one I cut a little bit too long, so I'm going to snip it off. So it's just going to fit right here in the middle. And it's "I'll be yours," and then also cut these hearts. So the bigger heart, and I did a little bit of doodling around it. I'm doing this upside down, so hopefully I won't mess it up. And I ran it through my Xyron. So let's see here. I forgot to pop out the part for the E. Okay, so we have the B in the middle, and then it's owl. When you use your Xyron, I use the little sticker maker, the little tiny one. So, because I can keep that right on my desk. It's this Create a Sticker, the 150. Really great for the smaller pieces. So here's owl, B, and then the last word is yours, which goes underneath like so. And you might have to work on getting sometimes little stickies hang around in the crevices that you can pick off. And then I also cut these other little hearts, which I doodled, and I'm going to put just up on the side. So here is the inside of my card, "I'll be yours," which is a little crooked, but that's fine. "I'll be yours," and I think that's very cute. Here's the front of my card, and here is the inside of my card. So I think it's very, very cute. I love the Create a Critter. So thank you for watching today. This is Cindy with Creating with the Heart.